Welcome back to Grown Folk Talk with Patrice. We are talking about menopause, managing menopause, the topic people don't really know too much about. We know about the hot flashes. Tina, you talked about your first hot flash. Who remembers their first hot flash? Most people, maybe not their first, but they know what you're talking about, right? And you said you were embarrassed because you were sweating, your clothes were wet.
I was on TV.
And you were on TV
I was
having a hot
and I was
flash.
sweating, profusely.
Yes. Yeah.
Like this gloss dripping.
Right.
Type.
Yeah.
So it was an embarrassing situation. I don't get embarrassed anymore.
Right.
I'm very open, and I found that helps. So I'm very open, and I'll tell anybody. They say I'm having a hot flash.
Well, that's why we're having this conversation.
Yeah.
Because we need to remove the embarrassment. We need to remove the stigma, all of that, and the whispering about it. We are going through it.
Like, what's wrong with you? But
right.
when people know, yeah.
But that's it. Yeah. Shanika talked about hers in the car, feeling like your whole body. I remember when I've had them. I felt like there was a heater turned on in my chest.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it felt like somebody plugged in a heater and put it on high.
Absolutely.
Right. So Shirley, you mentioned perimenopause. So explain that. So that's the period before menopause. How much more? You have a pre-menopause, then you have a menopause. I don't get it.
Do you have a post-menopause too?
Pardon?
Do you have a post-menopause too?
Well, postmenopause is really considered from the time you stop having your period until you die. Some women have symptoms for a few years or just have one or two symptoms now and then it's gone. Other women will say, yeah, I remember that time period, but it's gone now. And then some women will say, I still have them and I'm 80.
Whoa.
You know what I mean? So,
right. Someone just said to me the other day that they know someone who's about to be 90 and still has hot flashes.
Yeah, it just depends on what your body's doing.
Right, exactly.
And how your diet is.
But hot flashes don't really come from menopause, right?
But
like you can have hot flashes from other things too, right?
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
Okay.
There's other conditions that can create thermoregulation problems.
Right.
Okay. All right. So Charlene, do you have any symptoms to add to the ones that I read, or were those on your list?
Well, one of the things I deal with a lot is painful sex.
Okay.
Because there's vaginal atrophy and dryness in the area because of the decreased estrogen.
And you say deal with it, meaning with your patients.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So people come to you because sex has become painful, and do they know it's because of menopause, or is that something you reveal to them?
Most times they don't know. They just know that they have that and other pelvic pain symptoms or other pelvic symptoms, incontinence, burning, decreased libido,
right?
All of that stuff because of decreased estrogen.
Okay.
And osteoporosis comes into that too because the bones are supported by estrogen, the arteries are supported by estrogen, the tendons are supported by estrogen.
Oh my God.
So a lot of women have painful hips, especially if they've had babies.
Right.
Whoa. Okay, so that's the hip pain.
That's
I
the
have.
hip pain.
That's
and
the
the knee pain.
hip pain and everything else.
Yeah.
And one of the things I read was the joint and muscle soreness and things like that.
So when I'm having, like, some days my knee just hurts. It's funny because my knee will hurt on the first two steps, but it won't hurt on the third and fourth step. Is that menopause? Like, no, seriously, you just don't know. I'm sitting here listening.
You don't know anymore.
Just don't know anymore.
Because it could be something wrong with your knee.
But my doctor,
it could be menopause.
I just want to say that my doctor, I'm just so thankful for my doctor. I have a male doctor, but I call him for everything. Like I call him for everything. They're never gonna be able to say that she didn't go to her doctor.
Right. Well, go
and
ahead.
I'll go on Google, and he always says stop self-diagnosing yourself.
Yeah.
But I remember the stinky armpit. I remember, like, I've never had stinky armpits. Like, I was that person that could go a couple of days without putting on deodorant because I was okay.
And you just had one that was
Is it one armpit?
Just one armpit.
And the same, like, it never switched up or anything.
Nope. I said, why does this one armpit stink?
And is that common?
It's menopause.
Oh, he said it.
Yeah, he says
You can have body changes.
And it said body odor
changes, yeah.
But just one.
Just
two
one.
armpits.
Whoa, Shirley, what are common misconceptions about menopause? What are over the years learning things? What do people think is a menopause, but it's not? Or what's a misconception?
I think that women just generally don't understand and don't know what to expect with it. I did a show on the Captain Show years ago. And by the time I got back to my office, this young lady called my office and said, "You were talking about me, weren't you?"
Really?
And I said, "Yes, seriously." And I was like, "Who's this?" But the anxiety issue, especially if menopause has created relationship issues, it can create anxiety. You can have anxiety for no reason. Over a 2-day period when I was in my mid-40s, I felt anxious for 2 days, and I thought, why am I anxious? I had no reason.
No explanation.
So I just took deep breaths, let it go, and it was gone. Yeah.
Okay.
To me, there is no rhyme or reason. Like, things are just happening. They're just, it's you maybe going through something, Tina, you're going through something, Shanika, you're going through something, I'm going through, and some things we can put together, and other things, oh no, that doesn't happen to me, but this happens. And, these ladies are here with their fans. You're not taking chances, are you?
Yeah, definitely. It's so warm in here.
Meanwhile, I was just fanning with this. Have you ever been somewhere and you're the only one fanning?
Oh yeah.
I was at a funeral once, a packed church funeral, and I was the only one fanning. And I said, well, what is wrong with this picture? Aren't these people hot? Nobody else in the packed church. And guess what? It doesn't matter now. I'll whip out a fan in a minute.
Anything, right?
and start fanning. It doesn't matter.
And hot flashes, and people trying to explain to someone who's not actually going through
Yes.
like, how can you? They're like, it's freezing. It's freezing out here. This comes from inside.
Inside. It does.
And you're trying to
Like a
explain
heater.
to people
Right.
where it's coming from.
Does hysterectomy, how does a hysterectomy contribute to, how does that tie into menopause?
It literally throws you into menopause because you have the uterus taken out. In some cases, you get the ovaries taken out as well. Most people try to leave the ovaries if possible to try and hold on to some hormone.
Right.
But that only gives you, I think, a cushion of 5 years.
Right. So,
And then something's got to be done.
right, because they start, so from what I understand is that the ovaries then they know that they're not of any more use.
They're not producing
so they
anymore.
start to, I'm just using shrink, maybe shrivel or something. So then that's, it sends you further along the path.
Well, what's meant to happen is when your estrogen decreases from the ovaries, then your adrenals kick in. But by then, women have had children, stressed out their bodies that way, the hormones have changed. They're running around here, there, and everywhere, trying to work, hold on a job, do the children, do this, do that.
Right.
So they get this fatigue.
Right.
And I don't know if any of you heard of adrenal fatigue. They have a different name for it now.
I have not.
It's where your adrenal glands are trying to take up the slack of everything else, and that goes awry. So you're not producing hormone at all.
Wow.
I get women that get tested that they have no hormones.
None.
None to measure.
Wow. So there can be no test.
Well, you can't pick up any numbers.
Right.
Because it's too low.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So that's creating a lot of the issues.
Right. It would do.
Yeah.
So they would be prescribed hormone.
It depends on which doctor they go through, but hopefully they go to one that can prescribe bioidentical hormone because it is safe.
Right.
Got you.
Research shows that it's very safe.
And so safe in what? What's not safe in what? But what does it do? When you have hormone replacement therapy, or what you're referring to, what can we expect once we take that?
Well, most times they won't put you on estrogen because of the breast cancer type scare. They'll put you on other hormones that will help out.
Okay.
And once they put you on those hormones, the body will adjust and you'll get more support. So some of those symptoms will go away.
Gotcha.
That's what we want to hear.
Okay.
Okay, hold on.
Now, what time the pharmacy closes?
Right. What time can we get this stuff?
There's actually a whole debate now about whether to give hormones to every woman once they reach a certain age or start having symptoms. Because the argument is the benefits far outweigh the risks.
Right. Okay.
Because with the benefits, you'll get because remember, postmenopausal women have an increase in heart disease.
Yes.
So you get that risk decrease.
Right. Oh.
So the same thing with strokes. You have an increase in strokes, so you get that risk decrease. You have the risk in some cancers decrease with bioidentical hormone.
Okay.
I'm
So,
gonna
So
talk to
a
my
lot
doctor.
of hormone experts
Yes.
say the benefits far outweigh the risk. And from my education, when you have a bioidentical hormone, is a year's worth of bioidentical hormone, because it's cream and
Right.
topically administered. It is the risk of about one old-fashioned HRT pill.
Really?
Yeah, a year's
Okay,
worth.
so we
it's
can live
basically
with that.
no risk.
No risk. Right.
Oh.
Okay.
So who do I talk to about this? I'm sorry. Patricia, you had that question?
No, you're right. No, you go right ahead. 'Cause that's a good question.
So who do I can I just ask my doctor? Like, will my doctor be able to?
You can ask your doctor, and they may know, they may not know, because straightforward medicine, some of this is functional medicine stuff.
Right.
And functional medicine is more holistic.
Okay. Okay.
So not every doctor has that approach.
That's right. Yeah.
Got you. So if my doctor doesn't know, who would I go to? I come to you, and you can guide me.
Yeah, I can refer you to
Okay.
somebody.
Got
Yeah.
you.
That's my
awesome.
plan tomorrow morning.
I was gonna say,
Tomorrow's
did
a
you-
holiday.
I was going to say, did you bring your planner? Because you have 3
Right,
appointments.
that's it. Because enough is enough
Like,
of this,
it's frustrating.
And
It is.
I think
It's
what you said,
overwhelming.
I think, for the listening audience, I just think, I have these conversations often. You know, most of my friendship circle are around my same age. Many of us are going through menopause and experiencing different symptoms. And this is the first time I've ever heard anything about hormones. So I'm gonna say that I don't think that much people know that it's out there and that this is something that can help.
That's right.
It's not gonna take menopause away, but it's something that can help, and it almost sounds healthy, like just to sort of help you get through some of these things and replace in your body what your body needs or what your body normally would have had.
Yes.
And
so
to
I
go-
think thank you for
Yes, and to give us some peace.
because I've never had this
sometimes we
conversation
feel
before around the hormone.
The hormone replacement therapy. So do we still call it that, although it's
It's
more
bioidentical.
natural?
It's actually called bioidentical hormones because chemically it's
Bioidentical
made up
hormones.
like the human body.
Okay,
It's still
okay.
a made up hormone,
Right.
but it's made chemically, like the molecules are made like the human body.
Okay. All right.
Got you.
So that's something I think that's worth looking into.
Yes.
Okay, because we can't continue on with how it's affecting us, and some days we're fine, some days we're not, some days we don't even realize what's happening, and it becomes overwhelming, and especially to the people around us.
Well, absolutely.
Well,
And
the
the
rest of the world
anxiety
goes
that
on,
people
right?
get with it.
The rest of the world goes on. Sorry.
The anxiety that people get with it.
Yes. Well,
The-
it's the unknown, right?
Yes.
It's the unknown. So when we don't know, we don't know. So, okay. So we have some questions that were sent to you, to me, I should say, through my social media pages. So I sent out a kind of a survey to ask if people had questions. And so, Charlene, the questions are for you, and I'm sure they'll help us and the others as well. Okay. So we talked about the vaginal dryness. That's what someone said. She said, I've recently been experiencing this and it makes intimacy painful.
Yes.
So the bioidentical hormones is good, will help that.
And pelvic floor therapy.
And pelvic floor therapy. Okay. All right. So we have some questions for Charlene. We're going to take a break, and some of my social media followers have sent in some questions that they need answered. So we will be right back.